Hey kids, welcome back to Library with Nick. It's so wonderful to have you all here. Um, as you may be aware, I am not here this week. Well, I'm here, but not for a couple days. So I went ahead and I'm making you a video so that you still get to have library time even if I'm gone. I hope you have a wonderful start of your week, and I'll see you all next week when I'm back. As you know, we've been talking this month about summer adventure. Summer adventure. And we've been talking about all different kinds of adventures, whether it's adventures using our imaginations or recognizing that it's okay, whatever kind of adventure we have. We don't need to judge it or try and set rules for it. But this week, we're talking about trying something new. And a part of any good adventure can be trying something new. And that can also be really challenging as well. Think for yourself for a moment. What's a time in your life when you tried something new? Was it scary? Was it fun? Were you nervous? I think about the first time I went away for the summer. I was going away from my home. I wasn't with my parents. I was only about 13. And I spent the whole summer without my mom and dad. And it was a little bit scary. I was definitely nervous to go, but I ended up having a lot of fun. So that's what we're looking at today. The story I have for us today is called The Bathing Costume. I like this story a lot because it talks a lot about simple things with adventures, like going somewhere with your grandparents, but lots of different new adventures that can be had from just the simple things of getting away with your grandparents for a couple days. All right, let's get to the story. But before we begin, let's do our normal library time routines. As always, we'll start off with 3 things that never change. Number 1, I like you just the way you are. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life, doesn't matter what's going on in mine. Doesn't matter if I don't see you for a week or if I see you every day. That doesn't change. Number 2, I'm happy you're here today. I'm happy that you're watching my video today, that I get to at least see you virtually and leave a message for you even if I can't see you face to face. It's such a special day when we get to have this time together. And number 3, my expectations. As always, our most important expectation, please be kind and respectful to everyone around you. It's such a good feeling when we get to be kind to someone, when they get to be kind to us. And that includes people in your house, people you might see outside, people you might see online, right? Even though they're not next to you, they're still people around you in a digital way. And we don't have to do the rest of our expectations because we're not on Zoom or in person, so we don't really need to cover that. All right, let's go ahead and get to the story. The story this week is called The Bathing Costume by Charlotte Mondelic and Oliver Talek. And it's a story of a young boy who who has to go to his grandparents for part of the summer. It's the first time without his mom or dad. And he's there with his older cousins. And that can be kind of scary, doing something like that. So let's go ahead and get started. The Bathing Costume, or The Worst Vacation of My Life. In a month, my family will be moving, so my parents have decided that this summer I'll go away kind of on my own, which means without Mama. I'll go with my grandparents to their house in the country. As for my brother Martin, he's going to visit his pen pal Stephen in Southampton, England. I've never had to go away without Mama before. Since she doesn't work, she always goes with us on vacations. Papa usually stays in Paris for work and joins us on the weekends, except, of course, when he's on vacation, too. Papa told me about this last night, and I could see that I'd really got to Mama. She didn't say anything, just wiped her eye gently, pretending like she had something in it. I wasn't very brave either, which makes sense, since I'm not used to being without her. Martin burst out laughing, super happy to have something to tease me about. So, Bonnie Ronnie, you're going to have to go away without dear Mama. He annoys me so much, so I kicked him to make him punch me back. This way I could cry as much as I wanted while he got in trouble. I don't know if you have siblings or if you ever fight with your siblings or your cousins, but it's definitely something that happens when you're younger. I used to do it with my brothers all the time. My name is Myron, and I'm almost 8 years old. Having such an old-fashioned name isn't always fun, believe me. It's all Grandpa Myron's fault. He was my father's father, and he died right before I was born. Since Mama was sure she'd have a girl, she unthinkingly agreed to name me after Papa's father to make him happy. But then when I was born, it was too late to take it back. To give me a cuter name, Mama nicknamed me Ronnie, which Martin quickly changed to Bonnie Ronnie. He's 12 and he hates me. But guess what? I hate him even more. I leave on Friday for a week. You think they actually hate each other? My guess is no. I definitely said things like that to my brothers when I was younger, but I would just be annoyed with them. I didn't actually hate them. Day 1. When we arrived at the front door, we could barely see the house because there were so many overgrown plants everywhere. But with us there, I felt the house would begin to come out of its long hibernation. Grandpa said that the plants would give us some real work to do. But I don't really want to garden with him because he scares me a little. He doesn't talk much, so you never know what he's thinking. Also, he's usually pretty strict. Even more than Mama's absence, the bad news of the summer is that the cousins are also coming. Jean, Edgar, and Hector, the 3 sons of Uncle Patrick, Mama's older brother. It's bad news because they're big, strong, and they're buddies with Martin. I'm the butt of all their jokes. Grandma asked me if I was happy, and I muttered, yes, yeah, sure. What else could I say? I didn't want to tell her I was about to have the worst vacation of my whole life. Grandma also told me that at my parents' request, she's going to have me do a little work every day. After summer vacation, I'll be going into 3rd grade. I'm the shortest in my class, and I haven't lost a single tooth yet. To top it all off, my teacher noticed that I've been having some difficulties with writing. On my report card in the comment section, she wrote, "A dreamy, distracted student who is very nice to all his classmates." Grandma explained that since they don't have a telephone, she's going to have me write Mama a letter. I'll write a little bit of it every day. That way, I'll have something to send her at the end of the week. I asked if I could start tomorrow, since except for throwing up during the car ride, I don't have anything to tell. Grandma agreed with a smile. Day 2. Right now, I'm nibbling at the end of my pencil. I have no idea what to write. If I tell Mama that just after arriving, Jean and Edgar messed with my bed, she'll come get me immediately, and I'll seem like even more of a baby. But then, just like that, I start. Dear Mama, I hope you're doing well. It's beautiful here. That will be it for today. I prefer not to think too much about her, since it makes me a little sad. I'll see what tomorrow's like. Day 3. If I were to be completely honest, I'd tell Mama that I was the one who suggested to the cousins that we hold a competition to see who can shower the least over the vacation. I come up with this plan because the bathroom is really, really old and the shower is full of spiders. When Grandma tells us to go wash up, we head for the bathroom, where we draw straws to see which of us has to stay. The loser has to shower for real, while the rest of us make noises, so it seems like we've all gone in. Anyway, we're not really that dirty. Plus, there's only enough hot water for one shower. But since Mama thinks being clean is really important, I didn't say anything in the letter. Otherwise, Grandma would get in trouble, and that wouldn't be fair. So all I put was, I'm having a good time. Tomorrow, we'll go biking. I'm eating everything Grandma serves, including the green vegetables, even seconds. I wrote that to make her happy. Then I crossed off the stuff about seconds, because there's no way she'd ever believe me. Day 4. Today we went biking without helmets. Normally I'm not even allowed to get on my bike without a helmet, but my cousin said that I could do whatever I wanted since Mama isn't here. Ever since they had that idea about the shower, they've been a lot nicer. So I said, okay, to sound cool. They had showed me this really great thing where you can make your bike sound exactly like a motorcycle by attaching a playing card between the spokes with a clothespin. Suddenly you're zooming along like you're the king of the road. After that, Hector suggested that we steal some logs and planks from the wood shed to make ramps. Usually we're not allowed to go there because that's where Grandpa keeps his tools and the chainsaw. So I was put on lookout, but none of us got caught. We made a stunt course all along the path by balancing the planks on the logs. We laughed so hard. At the start, I had the jitters, but with our motors and the ramps, it was like we were motorcycle racing. We did all these really crazy jumps, too. All I added to my letter today was, this afternoon we did some great biking. We're going to go to sleep early. I think I have a loose tooth. Looks like one of them had a crash. I wonder if that's what loosened their tooth. My parents are really busy with the move, so it's not worth worrying them for nothing. Also, my tooth really is loose, so I'm happy. Day 5. Today we went to the swimming pool. Normally, I really like going, but today it was a nightmare. This summer, I'm 8. And in the family, the summer when you're 8 is the summer when you have to jump off the 10-foot diving board. At first, I thought that I'd be able to escape the whole thing, thanks to Grandpa's old car, which spent the winter here and wouldn't start. Since there were 6 of us, we were too many for Grandma's car, but Grandpa said it would be okay to put 2 of us in the back of Grandma's car, since the pool is nearby. This time, he was the one who said it would be best not to mention anything to Mama. "Boys, don't forget your bathing costumes," Grandma called. Hearing her call our swimsuits that really cracked me up. I sat in the back with Jean. As we drove, I suddenly realized that I could dive off the 3-foot diving board today and save the high dive for the last day, since we'd be going back to the pool at the end of the week. That way, I'd gain some time. I really have no idea how I'm going to do this, because I'm so terrified of the high dive. Before I left, Mama told me that she'd prefer if I jumped on a day when she was there. But if I don't do it now, I'll be so ashamed I'll never be able to come back here again. Not next year or any year after that. When we got to the changing room, I put on my suit. Well, no, not mine exactly. Martin's, which was way too big for me. Suddenly, the swimming pool was transformed into my worst nightmare. I had to hold on to my suit the entire time because it kept almost falling off. I tried the low board, and as I feared, I found myself in the water with my bottom in the air. That really gave the cousins something to tease me about. All I wanted to do was cry, so I bit the insides of my cheeks to stop myself. In the car on the way back, Grandma said that she would sew something into my suit so that it would stay up next time. Hector said, "Why not suspenders?" This made everyone roar, even Grandpa. I don't ever want to go back there again. Oof, that sounds rough. How do you think he's feeling right now? Yeah, I bet he's probably feeling kind of sad and maybe upset. Imagine having to do something like that and then getting embarrassed, especially in front of your older cousins. I didn't add anything to my letter today, mostly because I'm mad at Mama. Since Grandma saw that I was sulking, she didn't insist. Day 6. Last night was the scariest night of my life. Suddenly the sky burst open and lightning flashed through the dark clouds. Then the lights went out. We were just going into our room when Grandpa came to get us, carrying a lit candle. He gave each of us our own candle and suggested we stay with him and Grandma in the living room while we waited for things to calm down. I was glad, because for once, not even the big cousins acted brave. We went downstairs single file to where Grandma had made a fire in the old fireplace. Grandpa told us stories about when he was a kid. He used to come to the same house with his 5 brothers and his cousins. They did tons of hilarious things together. It was funny because it all sounded just like me and my cousins, except that back then they went swimming in the river since the city pool didn't exist yet. Then Grandma made us hot chocolate and the lights came back on. When we got back to our room, we fell asleep right away without telling any jokes. Before closing my eyes, I thought that I should write this to Mama. Grandma takes really good care of us, and I'm not scared of Grandpa anymore. It's true. Since realizing that he used to be a kid too, just like me, I'm not frightened of him anymore. It can be amazing what happens when we face our fears, when we try something new. In this case, he's not scared of his grandpa anymore once he has that realization. I wonder, though, if he's going to try the diving board. Day 7. So this is it. We're leaving tomorrow. The vacation has whizzed by, and I have to admit, I've had a super good time. But before I can declare victory, I still have to face the hardest test of my life. To be honest, I still don't know how I'm going to do it. If I survive, I'll gladly sacrifice myself to the shower tonight. It's time to leave for the pool, so I dawdle a little, hoping they'll forget me. But I know I'm just dreaming, because my 10-foot jump is definitely something they're all waiting for. I hear Grandma calling, "Ronnie, let's go!" So I go. Grandma has sewn a horrible elastic thing into my bathing suit to hold it up. But since she's not that good at sewing, my suit now kind of looks like a diaper. And I look terrible. Everyone in the locker room laughs at me. To get it over with, I'm going to begin with the jump. I concentrate as hard as I can as I walk toward the diving board. I drag my feet as I reach the ladder. The main thing is not to look up. I begin to climb, but my legs tremble and big drops of sweat pour down my forehead. They're all there, Grandma and Grandpa to the right of the ladder, Jean, Edgar, and Hector to the left. I hear them egging me on. From one side they shout, "Ronnie, you're a champion!" From the other, "Bonnie Ronnie is a chicken." I block out their voices so I won't lose my focus. I climb and climb and climb, and it seems like I'll never stop. Then, I'm there. It only took a few seconds, but it felt like hours. The diving board seems to go on forever. I try not to look down. I check that my bathing suit is still in place, but I accidentally pull out a thread, and the elastic that Grandma put in comes out with it. Now I'm really done for. But since I'm already here, there's no way I can turn back now. Oof. Just as I'm about to jump to my death, I feel something warm in my mouth. I lick the inside of my cheek. Yep, it's blood. Pressing down with my tongue, I feel that my tooth is about to fall out. I try to get it with my finger, but I press too hard and it pops right out of my mouth. "Oh no, my tooth!" So I shout, My tooth has fallen into the water. We have to find it." Then I see Jean, followed by Edgar and Hector, jump into the pool to look for it. This is my lucky break, since I really don't want them to witness my disastrous dive. The important thing is to be really careful and not collide with them. I only have a few seconds, so I jump. Before I know it, I'm flying through the air and hitting the water at full speed. I try to hold up my bathing suit, which has slipped down, but I can't really be bothered. And thanks to my tooth, I did it. And no one saw my bottom, except for my grandparents. Grandma nudges Grandpa, who winks at me and claps like a madman. Hector climbs out of the pool, holding my tooth between his thumb and his index finger. We've done it! And I think I can say for sure this has been the best day of my life by far. Mama, of course, will have to buy Martin a new bathing suit. Grandma's stitches are now completely messed up, and I've pulled the waist so far that even Papa could wear it now. I'm really sad to be leaving tomorrow. This afternoon, Grandpa took us to the river where he swam as a kid. We decided to have a picnic dinner there, and to celebrate my feat, we sang. I feel like the cousins really respect me now. I'll be going to sleep soon. I asked Grandma if we could forget about sending Mama that letter. She agreed. Still, though, I reread it before throwing it out. It was completely worthless, so I crumple it up. The only thing I'd like to write to Mama now is, I want to have the exact same vacation next year. Well, almost. Only with a bathing costume that fits this time. That's the end of the story. I love how his perspective changed. At first, he really was scared and nervous and thought it was going to be the worst vacation of his life. And it can seem that way sometimes when we're trying something new. Whether it's going overnight without our parents, going to a camp for the first time, or even simple things like trying a new food. But oftentimes, when we try something new, those are the things that help us grow and change. And that's a big part of what having a summer is all about. It's a time to grow and change. I think just the last week, I went rock climbing. I was really scared. It was something new for me. I was outside. But I was really glad I did it. I was able to overcome my fear, and I actually had a pretty good time. Anyway, that's our class for today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you all next week. Bye, kids.